All right, final game for this edition of Hitting the Books. Next up, Michigan and Minnesota. We've got Michigan 20.5-point road favorites, 47 the total in this game. I'm really starting to notice something here when it comes to Michigan, and I'm going to see what the numbers were last year. But there was a period of time where when they were road favorites, I'd shy away and be worried about laying big numbers with them on the road. But, you go back to last year at Iowa, road favorites, won and covered. I think the one time they didn't was against Indiana, and even then it was barely a non-cover. At Rutgers, a win and cover last year. At Ohio State, of course, they were dogs. They won outright. They won and covered in the Big Ten championship game in a neutral environment as big favorites away from home. And then, of course, this year is road chalk. Their first time in that point spread role at Nebraska last week. They win 45-7. So lately, Michigan, can you lay the big points with them on the road? And lately, they've proven, yes, they've been pretty good actually as bigger road favorites. I'm tempted to lay it with Michigan. I don't see the Greek stallion here, who is a limping stallion. They need to put this stallion back in the barn, I think. Kaliakmanis, because to me, I have not seen enough at him consistency-wise as far as quarterback play goes. Against a defense of this caliber, I get it. It's a night game. It's in Minnesota. It gives them at least a somewhat of a better chance, but I just don't know if this offense is going to operate smoothly here against Michigan's defense. Now, they have perked up the last 2 weeks on offense against Northwestern and the Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns, but, you're going to compare those two teams on defense to Michigan. It's night and day. Overall, he's still not throwing for a ton. The run game is spotty this year for Minnesota compared to you. They don't have that dominant run game that they've had in years past. He's still only completing 58.7% of his passes this year, Kaliakmanis, 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And that's against a schedule that includes, Louisiana, Northwestern, Eastern Michigan, Nebraska. Who's the best defense they've played? North Carolina. Okay, they're getting better on defense, North Carolina, and even they're still not that great. And they only scored 13 points in that game against North Carolina. So, yeah, I don't want this home underdog. It doesn't mean I'm taking Michigan for sure, but I'm certainly leaning in that direction, especially at less than 3 touchdowns. And Michigan, I don't think, has a look ahead next week. If you look at their schedule, they're at Iowa. Oh, they actually have a bye week after this, Michigan. So there's a bye week after this game, and then they're at Iowa. So there's no look ahead whatsoever. I think this could get away from Minnesota, personally, with that patchwork offense.
Are they,
Conor?
Are they at Iowa? I thought they were at Indiana. Am I wrong?
Let me just double check that for Michigan. Let me see. Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry. Next week, Indiana. That was Minnesota. Their schedule.
Okay. Oh, Minnesota. Okay.
Indiana next week, and I still no look ahead because Indiana's a bottom feeder too.
Yeah, Michigan's defense is for real. So
really?
That's what's so good about them traveling. Now they just, they're not scoring 50, and those home games they didn't cover. And Nebraska, the line was too low. They thought them going on the road, it didn't matter. And they've given up 7 to Rutgers, 6 to Bowling Green, and they had some turnovers in that. This is how good the defense is. 7 to UNLV, 3 to East Carolina. Minnesota, team total under. I think even the game, but Michigan could get to 40 in this one. I want to look at a way to take a home dog like this. And, last night I was looking at Minnesota. I can't get there, I don't think. I think I'm just going to have to be off. But I'd look to those team total under and the under.
Yeah, they made life miserable for Nebraska and Heinrich Harburg last week, and I think they could do the same here to Kaliakmanis. I don't think he's ready for face a defense of this caliber right now, based on what I have seen. It has not been pretty. And again, they have not faced anything close to a defense the caliber they're going to face Saturday night here with Michigan. And look, McCarthy finally stepped up. I thought it was one of his better games against Nebraska because he'd been good, but he hadn't been great in the home games they had prior to the Nebraska game, but a lot better. We know Corum and Edwards, how great and terrific that running back tandem is. So yeah, it's going to be a tall order, in my opinion, here for the Minnesota Golden Gophers, no question. And